This is one of the most essential blues tunes that you really need to know. It's basically Smokestack Lightning by Howlin with the great Hubert Sumlin on guitar. The riff, it's all a one-chord blues, so nothing changes. It's all just about how the performance goes through, how the groove is, and the dynamics of the band. So the lick is a little tricky. There's two ways we can perform it. I'm using a steady, or as steady as I can get it, bass note, right? Thud, 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 kind of a heavy mute. Let's work on the line first. If you can get the bass note to kind of going like this, then spectacular. But if not, if your bass player is doing it, you're good to go. The lick. So it's basically off of an E minor pentatonic scale. My first line, open E, I'm bending my G just a little bit, right? So we're tweaking the flat third of the scale. Something you always want to do, as opposed to just playing it straight. Yeah, right? But that's the trick. So I'm going to bend that note just a little bit. So here I'm going to use my second finger. I'm going to slide up to this classic blues lick. That's the line. So it's all kind of one fluid motion. That just takes some work, but I'm going to slide up with the second finger. Grab the first finger right there on the D. So I'm sliding from the A to the B. Grab my D right there and let them both ring. Back down to the B and then slide down to the A. So then to finish out the phrase, so, and if you look at it, it's just a connection of two minor pentatonic scales, to E minor. And then, so the whole riff is based upon that. So there's a B section to the lick. So the first part goes. Second half, just E, D, then the same little riff. Now, a little ornament we could add in is this C sharp. That's a great sound. So what I'm going to do is grab my C sharp with my first finger on a second fret of the second string. And then I use my pinky just because I like to use my pinky on the G here. And I bend them up a little bit. So it's almost like the train whistle, you know. The trick about the bend is to not stop the bend, keep it going. Right, and then you can stop it at the high point, but you don't want to go and let it sit. That's going to sound terrible. And you don't want to release it because it ruins the sound. So now, in the original version, Hubert Sumlin plays the lick through the whole thing, and you have another guitar in there kind of doing what I'm doing here. If I'm playing with the band, I'll bring it way down because I feel like that riff gets to be too much. Not in the original, it works great there, but I'll just kind of go. Which is actually, honestly, more difficult to get together than the lick, because the lick is just the lick, you learn it. And you want to work on having it sit into the groove right and play it properly and all those things by listening to the original version. But this stuff, like what to play there, that is, I don't want to, it's hard to impart that other than doing a lot of listening. My fill is basically just off of an E chord and an E minor pentatonic scale. So I'm thinking like, boom, da, da. So I'm really thinking downbeat, boom, da, da, and there you want to listen to a lot of bass players. And I'm not trying to be squirrely on showing you that. It's sort of improvised, and it's one of those things that you want to make sure you hit that downbeat and then throw in a little fill. You don't want to throw in too much. You want to lock it into the groove. So if you just kind of watch what I played, and that is the harder of the two parts. Listening to a lot of music, listening to the bass player, 'cause I'm kind of grabbing what a bass player might do, trying to fill in some holes, but leave a lot of space for the singer. And then I can bring back in the riff, which makes it sound nice and big again. Now, the version I did, I always keep my pick here. I like to have the pick. I put hybrid pick a lot, or I keep my pick between my first and second finger so I get that cool little move where I can do that. That's tough, but it's worth the work keeping that going. So what I say is use your thumb for that, and I'm using my first and second finger for the riff. Now, I try to keep that bass note as constant as I can. I used to be pretty obsessive about it. Then I would listen to those Robert Johnson records and realize he probably got that bass note 60% of the time. It's the perceived idea that you're hitting that bass note on every eighth note or every quarter note that you set that up. So if I get it 75% of the time, if I kind of flub one or two, it doesn't matter. It just carries through. If you don't believe me, listen to every Robert Johnson record. So it's basically Smokestack Lightning, one of the most classic blues songs of all time.